Okay, we are preparing to live stream. Okay, hello. We are live on my YouTube channel, which is called the Techie Teacher Mentor. And thank you everyone, those who are here in the live stream. Let me share my screen. So like I said in the WhatsApp group that what do you want to understand today? And then I know Debjyoti said STP and CP. But then I think that's a very niche thing. And most of our participants here in the WhatsApp group, the Global Classroom, they are either teachers who have few years of experience, but we do have a few teachers who have been in the IB for many years, so that they can help us mentor these other teachers who are either aspiring teachers or very new to the IB. Okay, so when people said that, okay, let us have something like core principles of IB, or we want to know more about the IB program, then I thought that, okay, let me create this presentation, or let us have this session where we talk about the core principles of the IB programs before we go to the nitty gritties. So I got Mr. Balmukund Pandey also over here, because when I come to the CP, Balmukund, you can talk about the CP program. Okay. And
Yeah,
when
yeah, Miss Asha.
I come to PYP, then Madhvi, you can take over. Okay. And
Yes, ma'am.
when we come to DP, DP is here, the expert. So you can talk about the DP program, and I'll be talking about the MYP. I can also have support from Maya if she wants to say anything else about the MYP, because she also has quite a few, at least more than a decade years of experience in the MYP as well as the PYP. Okay. So this is how we will go. Let me present my screen, the presentation. So we are going to talk about the core principles of the IB programs. Okay. The main aim of the IB is to build inquiring minds who have compassionate hearts, and it is also committed to creating a more peaceful world. Okay. And this, they want to do it one student at a time. So that's the main aim of the IB. And if you really want to know more about IB education, there is also a video called what is IB education. So if you just Google and say, what is IB education video? Okay. So you will get what is an IB education. This is from the IB. Okay. You can watch this particular video. I'm not playing it right now, but you can watch this video at a later time. So let's go to the learning about the core principles of the IB. So the mission and the primary goals of the IB is to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people, okay, so that they build a more peaceful and just world through intercultural understanding and respect. Okay, so it's all about international mindedness, okay, global perspectives, holistic learning, and about respecting cultures. And IB not only looks at academic achievement, but it nurtures active, compassionate, lifelong learners. And they will not only graduate with their knowledge, but also will have a purpose for their life. Okay, so that's the mission and primary goal of the IB. Now, let me hear from you all. I will share this particular Google form. If you can fill this. Okay, I'm putting it on the chat. Okay, if you can fill this form, where it asks you these three questions. The first question is, which best describes your current role? So are you an IB teacher? Are you a coordinator? Are you just a parent and guardian? Or you're new to IB and just exploring what IB is? Okay. The question 2 is about which IB program are you most connected to? Even if you are not teaching the IB, if you're doing primary, then it would be PYP. If it is primary and middle years, sixth grade, 6, 7, 8, then it would be PYP and YP. If it is grade 11 and 12, it is DP. CP is also grade 11 and 12. And if you teach the whole lot, like our teachers, mostly they are specialists. The specialists teach throughout the programs. So if you teach all of them, maybe you say all of them. And then you have a reflection prompt, which in one word, you have to say, what does IB education mean to you? Okay, so that's your question that you have to fill in. Okay, so I have Shweta who is saying that she is new to IB, just exploring. And in one word, what does IB education mean to her is transdisciplinary culture. Okay. Amita is also new to IB. She's looking at DP, grade 11 and 12. And she's saying that in IB, what does IB education mean to you? She says real life application, the purpose of learning a subject. Okay, purpose. Madhvi is a coordinator. She's associated with PYP. And for her, IB means education for a better world. Okay. Sneha is an IB educator, PYP. She says that IB is all about holistic development. Deepti, who is a coordinator for DP, says being a learner all your life. Yeah, lifelong learner. And Debjyoti says that he's an IB teacher for the DP, an education that prepares students for an unknown future. I think it is future, right? Yeah, unknown world of tomorrow. And Mr. Balmukund is also a coordinator for DP, and Suki says that it is need of the day. Okay, so thank you so much for your responses. And because I had this conversation before uh, our live stream, I know that there are few who are experienced coordinators and experienced educators of the IB, but we also have some of them who are very new to IB and they are aspiring IB teachers. So thank you for all your responses here. Now we know that in the IB, we talk about international mindedness. Okay. Which is about intercultural awareness, holistic learning, multilingualism, as well as developing the IB learner profile. So anyone who wants to list or you want to tell the learner profile of the IB, it's like a test. Who can tell all the 10 learner profile of the IB?
Can I? Key truck, Pobrak. I remember it like that only.
How?
Knowledge.
What?
Key truck, Pobrak.
अच्छा बोल.
तो जब मैं नहीं थी तब मैंने ऐसे ही याद किया.
हाँ तो बोल 10 पूरे 10 IB learner profile बोल.
अच्छा, knowledgeable, inquirer, thinker, reflective, communicator, principal, open-minded, balanced, reflective, and caring.
अच्छा. Any other way that you can remember the 10 learner profile? Because if you don't remember, how are you going to role model it to your students? Because students need to remember the 10 learner profile so that they show those learner profile in their classrooms. Anyone?
Brickcopter is there, right? Brickcopter.
Yeah. What is the this?
What
Tell
you
me.
had told in one of the sessions, I guess, Brickcopter.
Okay, Brickcopter. Bolo. B stands for?
Balanced,
R for
reflective,
reflective,
inquirer,
inquirer,
then C for full communicator,
communicator,
knowledgeable,
knowledgeable. Another C is caring. Yes, Alicia.
caring, open-minded,
Okay.
principled,
हाँ,
thinker,
thinker.
thinkers and
Reflector हो गया. Reflective हो गया.
risk takers,
Responsible. Risk taker,
Risk
risk taker.
taker.
Sorry. Yeah.
Risk
Risk
taker, sorry.
taker.
risk
Okay.
takers.
So these are the 10 learner profile. I remember it by using this acronym, Brickcopter. Okay. And this was given to me from my principal Mr. McPherson, when I worked with him at my previous school. Okay, so yeah, so remember the term in acronym BRICCOPTER to remember the 10 learner profile of the IB. Very, very important. Okay, so these are the 10 attributes that every IB program strives to develop in your students. Okay, so first is inquirers. What do you mean by inquirers? When we want to develop inquirers, what you need to do is nurture curiosity. And you give them the skills to investigate independently as well as collaboratively. Okay, so these are inquirers. Knowledgeable, exploring concepts across a broad range of disciplines with depth and understanding. We are talking knowledgeable not only in PYP, we are also talking about MYP, DP, CP. Okay, so all programs have concepts, key concepts, related concepts. Now they are called specified concepts. Okay, concepts and specified concepts. You need to teach those to our students. And then when you teach these to our students, then they become knowledgeable. Thinkers apply both critical thinking as well as creative thinking to recognize and approach complex programs. Now, what is the difference between critical thinking and creative thinking? How do I know what is the thing that differentiates between critical thinking and creative thinking or creativity? Anyone? Critical thinking मतलब क्या? Creativity मतलब क्या?
So, what I feel is like the critical thinking involves an aspect where they look at the pros and cons of it, even if it is their work. They look at the pros and cons of it.
Okay.
They look at it through the lenses of some form of improvement, which is possible, even if it is their work, and it can be improved. And then comes the creative thinking part, where an innovation can be done, where something new can be generated, right? But if you don't look for the critical thinking lens of that, okay, what further can be improved? What is the scope of improvement in this? That is the start point of innovation, right? When you look at something with a
so you have got both the words that I'm looking for. When it is critical thinking, it is about problem solving. Okay, critical thinking is problem solving. So when you solve any problems or real life problems, then you have to analyze, you have to apply knowledge, you have to evaluate, you have to all these things, right? So analysis, application, evaluation of the different blooms, okay, levels of cognition, metacognition are what is included in critical thinking. Okay, so critical thinking is about problem solving. Next, another term for critical thinking is problem solving. Whereas creativity is about thinking out of the box. Okay, coming up with innovative solutions. Okay, so when I talk about creativity, it is about innovation. All right, so remember these two things. When I say thinking, two skills, critical thinking skills, creativity. Okay, we also have transfer as one of the ATL skills for thinking. Okay, transfer skills. All right, then the next learner profile attribute is communicator, expressing ideas confidently and creatively in multiple languages and modes. We know that in the IB, you don't have a choice. You have to do a language acquisition, a second language. Okay, every student, whether it is PYP, MYP, DP, you have to do a second language. In the IBCP also, you have language and cultural studies. There also they study language, though they don't study it how we study in the DP or in the PYP, MYP, but they do have a language component. They have language and cultural studies. So IB is all about multilingualism. All right. Then the next learner profile is about being principled. So you act with integrity, honesty, and you have a strong sense of fairness and justice. Then you are a principled student or a teacher. All right. So these are the first 5 learner profile. And the next 5 are being open-minded, appreciating your own culture and perspectives of others. Okay. With respect and curiosity. Next is caring, showing empathy, compassion, and respect. so that you make a positive difference in others' life. So when you are caring, then you look at service learning, because service learning component helps you to develop this particular attribute. Okay, caring. Then you have risk takers. Now, it's not about jumping from 10th floor building or doing a skydiving. When I say risk taker, it is about taking, calculative risks. Okay. And working with courage. So you approach uncertainty with courage and you explore new ideas and innovative strategies. When you do that, then you are a risk taker. Okay. Balanced, you understand the importance of intellectual, physical, and emotional balance. So we also talk about wellness. Wellness is one component that has been added for the PYP also. Okay, now they have a scope and sequence for wellness also. So balanced is to have an understanding of how intellectually, physically, and emotional balance is necessary for a good life. Okay, so we want our students to be balanced. Reflective, here we are making the students to become thoughtful and to consider their own learning, look at their strengths and their areas of growth. So you have a lot of reflection happening. Okay, as teacher also we reflect a lot. As students also, we do a lot of reflective activities with our students, and thus they become reflective. So these are the 10 learner profile. Again, the acronym BRIC Copter you can use. Copter without an E, BRICK, COPTR. That will help you to remember the 10 learner profile attributes. Anybody, any questions right now? Or you want to add something to this?
Yeah, I would like to go back to T. T was for?
Thinker.
Thank you.
Okay. We were talking about critical thinking and creativity. Critical thinking is about problem solving. Creativity is about innovation, coming up with new solutions. All right. We also said that the fundamental thing about IB education is about holistic learning. Okay, so what does our holistic mean? IB does not teach the subjects in isolation. When you look at the PYP, it is transdisciplinary. Okay, you teach 6 units of inquiry, okay, with the 6 transdisciplinary theme, where they connect. The curriculum is in such a way that you connect different subject areas, and so that the students can see that knowledge comes as a whole. It is not, in isolation or in silos. So they will see how knowledge fits together. So this is very easily seen in the PYP, where through the transdisciplinary theme. In the MYP, we do have interdisciplinary units, IDU. Okay. And in the DP, we have TOK. There is scope of integration when you do TOK, different areas of knowledge. Okay. In the CP, where do we do CP?
They have this thing, reflective project,
They have reflective
ethical
project.
dilemma. Yeah.
Over there, they can integrate all the different subjects. So therefore, the holistic learning is not just for one program. It runs through all the 4 programs of the IB. Okay. Holistic learning helps students to grow intellectually and emotionally, preparing them for real life and not just for exams. Okay.
I think
Now-
exploration would also come in that map, right?
Yeah.
Exploration.
Yes. Exploration will also come. Yeah. You can have explorations in that.
Yeah,
The
it will
holistic-
connect different subjects, right, across.
Yeah, and we can, and even in group 4 project, when you do the group 4 project,
Yeah.
for the sciences, over
Okay.
there also there is integration. Okay, subject integration. All right. The main. Okay, let me ask you one thing. With the IB, there are 2 terminologies. Okay, ATT and ATL. What are they? ATT,
Approaches to
ATL.
teaching and approaches to learning.
And which one is for whom?
Approaches to learning is for students and approaches to teaching is for teachers.
Okay, everyone. ATT is approaches to teaching. ATL is approaches to learning. Okay. Approaches to teaching is for teachers to develop their teaching skills and pedagogy. And ATL skills are to develop the skills in our students. Okay. So now when I'm going to talk about inquiry-based learning, it is one of the ATTs, approaches to teaching. So now how will you know about ATT? What you can also do is you can just Google over here and say approaches to teaching IB. Okay. So it will give you the 6 approaches to teaching. So these are the 6. Anybody who can tell me the 6 approaches to teaching? I know it by heart. If you wake me up in the middle of the night, also 12 o'clock in the night or 1 o'clock in the night, I can say the 6 approaches to teaching. Anybody over here?
Yeah, I recently gone through the DSM material, like the DSM guide rather. So
Okay.
yeah, it was conceptual based understanding. Then
Okay. So one is conceptual based understanding.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Then
Inquiry based.
it has to be based on
That's-
inquiry. You
that's-
have to teach it through inquiry based learning, conceptual, and you
Formative.
have to teach concepts. What else?
through assessment.
Differentiation.
Okay, differentiation. It should remove barriers to learning. Okay, so differentiated instruction as well as inclusion. Both, okay, not just differentiated instruction. You remove the barriers of learning from your students. Okay, this is 3. Fifth or 3 hai,
Local and
bhai.
global
Local to
Assessment.
global context.
Local and global context. So whatever you teach, it has to have some context, either local context or global context. That is why IB is different, right? It has to relate to real life. Therefore, your units are authentic. When you say authentic, that means it relates to real life. Okay, whether it is your assessment or whether it is your task that you're giving in the class. Authentic assessment, authentic assignment, it means that it is related to real life. So it is connected to global context or local context. Okay, what else? 2 more.
Focus to effective teamwork and collaboration.
Collaboration and teamwork. In an IB classroom, you will not see students sitting in theater style. Okay, when you go to a PYP classroom or an MYP classroom, if you go to Maya's class, they will not sit in theater style in rows. They sit in groups. Okay, there are tables of 4 or 5. 4 or 5 students sit in groups. Why? Because when they sit in such an environment or such a seating arrangement, then only collaboration and teamwork can happen. I cannot collaborate by sitting in a row, right? I can talk to my partner, but then when you have to discuss something, we need to have at least 3 or 4 people to talk to, right? Okay, so mark my words, especially DP teachers. If I'm going to come as an evaluator to your school and I'm coming for observation, if I see you students are sitting in rows, then I will ask you how do you ensure that they do teamwork and collaboration? Okay.
Yeah, this is also one of the classroom strategies, right? Like when this, it's part of a Cambridge Teachers of Tomorrow curriculum as well. Like when we say, what are the different classroom strategies that we can take up for managing classrooms and differentiating learning? So I think this is one of the primary
requirements.
And like doing the managing the environment of the classroom for all those.
So Madhvi, if you're going to go as a PYP coordinator to observe classes, lessons, then you also have to see how the students are seated.
Yes.
I
yes,
know
ma'am.
in PYP everybody sits in groups, but
Yes.
still, again, grouping. Who is
Correct.
sitting with whom? You cannot have every time the same seating
Right.
arrangement.
It should be changing all the time.
So think about it. Okay. So, okay, you got the 5 thing. Last one is very important for MYP DP because it is all about
Assessment.
assessment. So it has to be, what do you say? Formative assessment and summative assessment should take place. Okay. So the 6 ATTs for teachers are, first one is your teaching learning should be based on inquiry. It should be focused on conceptual understanding. It should be developed in local and global context, focused on teamwork and collaboration, designed to remove barriers to learning. That means it has to be inclusive as well as there has to be differentiated instruction happening. UDL, okay, Universal Design for Learning. Those principles, if you follow, then you will be picking up this, okay? And then teaching and learning should be informed by assessment. So you should have formative assessment, summative assessment, self-assessment, peer assessment. Okay, so these are the 6 approaches to learning. These are the things that I would be observing if I am a coordinator or when I come for evaluation visits, in addition to your walls that is there in the classroom, okay, to see whether actual IB teaching learning is happening or not. Clear? Okay, so that was about ATT, and one of the ATT is, yes, Amita, you have a question.
So here, when we are talking about ATT, does the teacher have to include all 6 in that one class?
नहीं. Good
Yeah.
question. Good question.
Thank you.
नहीं, लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा ना.
Right. So if relevant to the topic, all 6 must be included, making sure that the topic has been taught, keeping into mind all these ATTs. Not
So,
that just one lesson.
नहीं, नहीं.
Hmm.
The whole unit should have these
Yeah.
elements, okay? But in a class, when you are teaching, in a 40-minute class, there has to be some formative assessment. If you don't do formative assessment, then I would be alarmed, because you are not testing, or you are not finding out, assessing whether the students have understood or not what you are trying to teach.
Correct.
Okay.
So-
Now, when I say formative assessment, it is not quiz or test or this, okay? Exams. It is about finding out how much have the student understood what you are trying to teach in that
So
40
exit
minutes.
ticket will be considered as a form of assessment.
Exit ticket. Or suppose if you are asking question, and if you're telling the students, okay, do a thumbs up if you have understood. If you are doing a sideways, then
Right.
maybe I'm not sure. And if a
Right.
thumbs down, then I did not understand. So when the students do that, at that moment you come to know, right, how many students have understood or not, and then you repeat. If you have many thumbs down, then you do take another strategy or think about another way to make the students understand that particular content or concept that you're trying to teach.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good question. So when you're looking at inquiry-based learning, then what are you doing? Okay. You have to teach students to ask better questions. All right. Now, how do you teach them? Okay. So there are different types of questions. Okay. Questioning techniques, if you do, okay, Google, you will get those different strategies, different types of questions. What you can do is you ask open-ended questions. Whenever in the PYP, especially when you start a new unit, you start with provocation, right?
Yes,
Either
ma'am.
give them a photograph or a video, show them a video, or give them some thing to read that will spark
Some
their
artifact or
curiosity.
something. Right.
Yeah. Okay. And then the students can explore different topics through primary and secondary sources. In sciences, they can experiment. Okay. Then the learners can draw conclusion of what they are learning, what learning they have got. Then they can evaluate the process of their learning, connect the different findings. Okay. And then they can share and act accordingly. They can share their knowledge and understanding with their students, with their classmates, and they can consider how to apply it meaningfully. So there is a component of action in PYP all the time, right? In every unit, they have to show
Yes.
action.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So that's about acting. Okay. Reflecting and acting. So this is about inquiry. These are the different stages of inquiry that you need to. Still, if you want to know a particular way of doing inquiry in terms of research, okay, then you can look at the Big Six technique. Okay. So you go type Big Six info literacy model. For PYP, you can do Super 3. If you go to Big 6, okay, this is about Big 6. How research you can do through the Big 6. This actually the teacher librarian should be teaching in their course. Okay, library lessons. You have Big 6 for the secondary classes, you have Super 3 for PYP. How to plan, how to do, and then how to review. Okay, so this is something that you can take away. So this is about inquiry-based learning. Then you need to look at interdisciplinary connection. We don't teach single subjects, okay? Single subjects are taught, individual disciplines are there, but then you try to connect those with other subjects. There has to be some cross-subject connection so that students see the connection and, you know, the different themes that are taught in the PYP, okay? They will help us to make these interdisciplinary connections. Then the third would be applied understanding. You use the integrated knowledge, whatever knowledge you have gained, you will use it to tackle real world problems. Therefore, in the PYP, MYP, DP, you always have to give local and global context. In the DP, you give those different scenarios and case studies to do, right? So that they understand whatever they are learning, what is the context locally or globally, what are the issues that are linked with it. Similarly, what you can also do is, in order to tackle real world problems, you can connect your teaching learning to UN SDGs, UN Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 UN SDGs. You can connect your content and concept with the SDGs and you can teach it. And this will help students to make real world connections with the subject that they are learning. Okay, so this is about interdisciplinary connections. The main philosophy of the IB is about international mindedness. And when we talk about international mindedness, what do you mean? You mean that you are trying to develop a global perspective in your students. Okay, there has to be some global theme in every lesson. So that's why if you see the MYP, you have the global context, right? That helps you to connect. In the PYP, the transdisciplinary theme themselves are the global context. Okay, because whatever PYP, if you say PYP transdisciplinary theme and MYP global context. Okay, so this is the main connection of the PYP and the MYP. In the PYP, you have this transdisciplinary theme called as who we are. The same when you go to MYP, it becomes identities and relationships. And what are we doing in this? What are we exploring? We explore beliefs, health, human relationships, and what it means to be human. Okay. PYP transdisciplinary theme, where we are in place and time, becomes orientation and space and time in the MYP. And here we will explore personal histories, homes, migrations, and turning points of humankind. In the PYP, when we do how we express ourselves, this particular transdisciplinary theme, it becomes personal and cultural expression in the MYP. And the explorations are about the ways we discover and express ideas, feelings, and culture. How the world works becomes scientific and technical innovation in the MYP. And here we explore natural world, scientific principles, and the impact of innovations. How we organize ourselves becomes fairness and development in the MYP. And here we look at human capabilities, social structures, rights, and equality. And sharing the planet in PYP is globalization and sustainability in the MYP, where we are exploring the interconnectedness of human-made systems and the Earth's resources. So can you see that there is a direct transition from PYP to MYP? Devjyoti and Dipti and Balmukun, who are in the DP, tell me how do you take it ahead in the DP? Even Maya, she is teaching DP Hindi. So how does this look in the DP? Do you have any context or no?
Yeah, we have.
What is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Sharing the planet, I think, and human ingenuity.
Human ingenuity is about this, huh? How the world works. Scientific and technical innovation
yeah.
is human ingenuity.
Experiences, identities, and one is
Identities and relationship is here. In language acquisition, they have that. What else?
They also have
social
where they
something is
show
there.
there is
Mhm.
TOK connections which they do.
Which one?
TOK connections where
TOK connections. Okay.
Okay.
Cas.
Okay.
connections that
So
you
let me
do.
ask over here. How does it look in the DP?
Ma'am, especially in the ESS, there is a lot of connections of interconnectedness of because it talks about the environment, the economics behind it, right? So
Okay.
it relates to a lot of this particular concept that you were highlighting, the
Okay.
ESS part.
So if I have to compare, okay, let me go to compare the
AI is,
this say
prompts are really
skills. Sorry, transdisciplinary games of PYP and global context of MYP. Okay, the transdisciplinary themes of PYP and the global context of MYP. How does this transition in the DP and CP?
Themes. There are also themes in DP.
Okay, from PYP transdisciplinary themes to DP core. So you have TOK. How do we organize ourselves? How do we know what we claim to know? Extended essay. Okay, SCAS. You'll have to check with DP. How does it look in the guides?
Yeah, ma'am, it's the same like when we are talking of TOK, all the global things and all that comes up in that. And when we talk of extended essay, that is the scientific research and all that part comes in the extended essay. And when we
Okay.
talk about CAS, it's more about thinking in, the creativity aspect and all that that is coming from CAS part.
Okay. All right. But we can see a direct connection of PYP and MYP, right? Direct transition. With the DP, we'll have to study how this fits in.
So
Yeah.
miss,
Okay.
I think for DP, for every subject guide, if you go for every syllabus guide, they have mentioned the details of what international mindedness every unit can have, what skills can be covered. So if you follow the syllabus guide, not as closely matching with PYP, we will have to look at that mapping. How can we map that? But the examples, we don't have to actually search for examples. It's mostly
It's
given in the
there.
guide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the guide, you have all the TOK connections. How do you integrate TOK with the subjects? Even
Correct.
CAS connections are also given. So
Okay.
especially I can talk about biology where in some chapters they do give what CAS connection can be there in this. So
Okay.
how you can take it forward. So those things are there in the subject guides itself.
Acha. Okay. Okay. So if you are interested in DP, please read your subject guides. Okay.
all.
All right. So when we have to develop a global perspective, how does IB does it? So you have to incorporate global themes in your lessons. So in the IB guides, you will see the global themes, okay, subject guides according to our IB experts. You also, IB places a very strong emphasis on language learning. So that's why I told you, right? Language acquisition is compulsory. Everybody has to do it if you are in the IB. We talk about global collaboration. We engage our students with different communities. You do have exchanges, okay, between schools where students can, communicate with each other or take part in different events. Like MUN is one where students do go for collaborating with other schools, right? Yeah. And personal impact, students are prompted to think critically about their role and responsibility within the global systems. So you do give them those reflective questions at the end of the unit, right? Where they have to think about, even during the unit, where they have to think about what is ethical citizenship? What do you mean by being an active learner? How do you improve your ATL skills to become a better learner? Okay, so there is an impact on our students when you teach them all those ATL skills. So this is about the international mindedness, how we can help students develop a global perspective. Now, if you're looking at a glance to the 4 IB programs, then PYP is the first program, between ages of 3 to 12. It is a transdisciplinary inquiry-led framework. You have 6 transdisciplinary themes. PYP also is strong about student agency and inquiry. Okay. And the culmination of the PYP happens with the PYP exhibition, which is a student-led inquiry project. And here, free inquiry happens. Okay, we have different types of inquiry also, right? Structured inquiry, guided inquiry, free inquiry. So here is the chance for the schools or for the teachers to give students an opportunity to have student agency and do free inquiry. Students will choose their subject topic on which they want to create their exhibition project. In the MYP, which is the middle years program, ages 11 to 16, you have 6 subject groups. Now, if you look at the groups, group 1, if I look at DP and MYP together, then group 1 is language and literature. We have English as language and literature in India. Group 2 is language acquisition, second language, foreign language. Group 3 is individuals and societies. Okay, history, geography, economics, business studies. Okay. Group 4 is sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, environmental science. Okay. Group 5 is mathematics. Group 6 is arts, visual arts, theater, drama, dance. Depends upon the school, what they want to offer, music. And group 7 and 8 are physical and health education and design. Okay, this is for MYP. And in the MYP, you teach your units through global context so that you connect it to real world issues. And you also have to do an IDU for every grade. Okay, interdisciplinary unit. And the IB program, the MYP program culminates with the personal project. In grade 10, if you have MYP 1 to 5, then all students of MYP 5 have to register for a personal project, which is their independent, self-directed piece of work. Okay, here also free inquiry takes place. Then you have the DP and the CP program. These 2 programs are for grade 11 and 12. DP has 6 subject groups and they have core components. The core components includes theory of knowledge, extended essay and CAS, creativity, activity, service. And it is an internationally recognized qualification. All the universities accept it. And it is a rigorous, you can say, pre-university preparation. Okay. Academic preparation for all our students. For CP, which is picking up in the in India, okay, we do offer IBCP in my present school. It combines minimum of 2 DP subjects. We say 3, right, Balmukund?
Yeah, we have in our school, we provide 3 subjects. One
3
English is
subjects.
compulsory. Yeah, English compulsory at SL level.
Okay. And you have a career related study that we do. So in our school, we offer artificial intelligence, design, and
Business
business
administration.
administration. So these are the 3 programs that we give for CP. And in the CP core, we have personal and professional skills. Service learning is now called community engagement. Language development is now called language and cultural studies. And then you have the reflective project. So these are the 4 CP core. And the CP is tailored for professional pathways. So the students have already decided that they want to take this as a profession. Another thing about CP is that there is compulsory internship that they have to do. How many hours, Balmukund?
There's no specified hour, but I think like 1 week to 15 days is something which is required. But that is again not from IB. That is like for us, WACP, like the service provider, they want them to have that internship. It's a WACP requirement.
Okay. So the CP bridges the academic rigor with real world career readiness. And that happens because of the internship that they get, okay, when they are studying. So all these 4 programs, they share the same IB mission, same learner profile, and the commitment to international mindedness. Okay, so let us talk about IB PYP. This is the particular slide that is there for IB PYP. Madhvi, would you want to talk about it?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. So as ma'am has said that IB is a transdisciplinary program. So the knowledge part of IB, which we can say of PYP, comes from basic of these 6 TD themes, which are as who we are, where we are in place and time, how we express ourselves, how the world works, how we organize ourselves, and sharing the planet. And the local to global connection, which we make for this program, comes from these TD themes. The basic key features for this PYP program is inquiry based. This program is completely inquiry based and it is led by students. So student agency, the voice, choice and ownership of students is the core of PYP. PYP also focus on developing not only the understanding of children, but it goes into the conceptual understanding where the major role is played by the specified concepts and the related concepts. Then reflection is a core part, as ma'am said, for students as well as teachers. So reflection is a process which we continuously follow. Students reflect during their learning on their learning, and even teachers reflect on the process of how the learning and teaching is happening in a PYP classroom. PYP is a collaborative effort. Play-based approach, yes, definitely. Early years worked on completely play-based inquiry, and the other elements, as ma'am have said, right? The LPAs, the skills, the ATTs, the ATL, international mindedness, all these elements, along with these key features, completes the program as a holistic one. And a PYP exhibition, definitely the culmination of entire PYP when the learner starts PYP from, from the early stages till grade 5. Exhibition is something which gives learners that, that opportunity. So they have where they show their learning. It is an excellent evidence of student agency where they decide what they want to inquire into. There can be an individual inquiry, which a student particularly want into and inquire into and showcase the learning and action. And we definitely connect most of our learning with the SDGs, as ma'am has mentioned earlier. So yeah, so in a nutshell, this is what a PYP program looks like.
Thank you, Madhvi. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Okay. So here is an exhibition PYP story. Okay. Why are bees disappearing? Meet 11-year-old Luca from PYP school in Barcelona. For his PYP exhibition, Luca chose to investigate the global decline of bee populations, a topic he discovered after noticing fewer bees in his grandmother's garden. Over 6 weeks, Luca, what did he do? Okay, he interviewed a local beekeeper and a university biologist, analyzed data on pesticide use and habitat loss, connected his findings to the interdisciplinary theme sharing the planet, designed an action plan, a school rooftop garden with native plants to support local pollinators, and presented his findings to his parents, teachers, and the local community members. Okay. Learner profile in action is inquirer, knowledgeable, caring, risk taker, and reflective. And here we have given examples of how he showed it. Inquirer, he drove his own investigation with genuine curiosity. Knowledgeable, he explored science, geography, and ethics. Caring, he took action to make a real difference. Risk taker, he reached out to experts he's never met. And reflective, he evaluated what worked and what he would do differently. Okay. Now think, pair, and share in our chat. Okay. Think of a topic a child in your school community might investigate for a PYP exhibition. What would it be, and which transdisciplinary theme would it connect to? Okay, look at the question. Take a screenshot of this and put in the group. If anybody can just take a screenshot of this reflective activity. Because here I'm going to make groups. Okay, so think about, what is the question? Did you get the picture? I took a screenshot.
I'm not able to paste the screenshot on the chat box, ma'am.
Wait, let me chat. Not on the chat box, on the WhatsApp group, because everybody is come from the same
Oh, okay.
group. Na?
Okay.
Okay. So how many are we? Oh my God, we are 17. Wow. What we can do is I will put y'all in breakout rooms. Maybe four breakout rooms. It will assign automatically. Okay. And we are there for maybe 8 minutes. As a group, discuss. Okay. What is the activity? Think about a topic that a student in your school community might investigate for PYP exhibition. What would it be, and which transdisciplinary theme will it connect to? Okay. Now, let me see, before I recreate, let me see if there are PYP people in the group. Padma, you are which group, which program? Hello.
PYP.
Okay, so we have PYP in the room one. Madhvi, you are PYP, you are there
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this.
Yes, ma'am.
Then I missed one. Bal Mukund is there, Momi is there. Alisha, which program are you there? Which program?
MYPDP.
MYPDP, hi Ray. Amita is also this. Okay, let me. I will have only room 1. Let me have only room 1 and 2. Because the others are all. Okay. Move to room 1. Move to room 2. I will just delete only 2 rooms, okay? And I have put you, there is at least one person who is PYP there, so that you can connect the transdisciplinary links. You have 8 minutes to decide. You can decide 2 projects, okay? Because you all are too many. I don't want to you to decide only one project. 2 projects for the PYP exhibition, okay? You have
Okay.
8 minutes. Okay, I've opened all rooms. Please join. Sneha, you have to go to room 2. Okay, so right now, I have given the task to two groups. Okay, so they are in the breakout room. The task is to think of a topic a child in their school community can investigate for a PYP exhibition. What would the topic be? And they have to say which transdisciplinary theme would it connect to. Okay, so they will be back in this room. After 2 minutes. So still 2 minutes to go. And they will come here in the main room and they will share their reflection or the discussion that they had in the breakout room. One minute to go. After that, they will share whatever they have discussed in the breakout room. Back. Okay. Group 1, explain. Give me your 2 topics that you have thought about, which your students could do as in PYP exhibition. I think group 1 was Balmukund's group. Debjyoti, Padma,
Yeah.
Vilma. Yeah. So could you share what projects have you thought?
I think it was rainwater harvesting. That's what I think Mr. Mukund had suggested. And I think Ms. Wilma was talking about vertical garden, climate action, basically. Global warming, climate action, SDG 13.
Okay. Good, you connected it to an SDG. And what about transdisciplinary theme? Which transdisciplinary theme?
I think we were talking about sharing the planet.
You can do both for sharing the planet.
Yeah.
Both goes with sharing the planet. Yes.
Most of them, they do sharing the planet, where you look at local issues. And yeah, Mr. Balmukund, it's a problem. Rain has not. Today, it rained a bit in Thane. But then
Little here also,
again, it is quite gloomy. And I hope that it would rain the whole day, but nahi.
Nice.
Bad ho
Here
gaya.
also, here also it rains slightly, just maybe for 5-7 minutes.
नहीं यहाँ पे हुआ काफी क्योंकि अभी भी मुझे सड़क गीला दिख रहा है. Yeah. So yeah, rainwater harvesting is a good idea, and they would get primary and secondary sources also for it.
Yeah.
So yes. And the second was vertical gardening.
Vertical gardening, so that we can reduce to take care of climate change and also to reduce the overall temperature of our surrounding and of our houses.
And also now sabjiyan itni महंगा हो गई है, you can just grow sabjiyan in your building on the terrace if you have space. So grow your own food. Yeah, so it will be organic. You will not use pesticides. So there are a lot of advantages of it. Then you can look at those aspects also, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Group 2, Madhvi, your group.
Yes. Ms. Dipti, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, Ms. Dipti.
Okay. So I think the first one was something which Madhvi talked about, what happened in the school about the canteen waste, which I don't know exactly what the canteen waste, how to regulate that.
Yeah.
And they
Some
spread
call
awareness about the entire situation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The second
And
thing,
the Clean Place Initiative.
yeah. So second thing was about the flower waste in the temple.
Ah,
So students, actually, some of them went, this was something which the DP students did as a part of their CAS project.
okay.
So they collected the fresh flowers from there, which was discarded, and they bought plain t-shirts.
Mhm.
And they, pressed that to make designs on that.
Ah, okay,
So
okay.
that was something which they did. And then they dried that and they used to make agarbattis out of it. So
Ah, okay, okay.
that was something. So we were talking about these two projects, which were.
Okay. And which transdisciplinary theme would you connect it to?
Sharing the planet, ma'am, we connected it with.
Ah, वही सबसे easy वही है, sharing the planet. करो, sharing the planet. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for spending time and discussing about the PYP exhibition topics. So yes, it's a good idea to do that. And I think this is also a good template where you can look at, what are the skills, what is the learner profile that the student is looking at when he's doing that particular PYP exhibition. So this case study, I think it is good that Gamma has created for me. Okay, I didn't do anything. I just asked it to create a scenario and it created to me. So I love Gamma. I just finished my subscription got over and I resubscribed it, though it is charging me some money. It burnt a hole in my pocket, but still it is very good. So I don't mind it. Yeah. So with the MYP, do we have someone from MYP here who can talk about the MYP program? I don't want to go on and on with MYP. Who is here who can talk about MYP? Maya disappeared. I was hoping her to talk about MYP. Okay, let me say then. So in the MYP, you have the 8 subject groups. I told you all: language and literature, language acquisition, individuals and societies, which is humanities, okay, sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, arts, music, drama, theater, dance, okay, visual arts, then physical and health education and design. All of these topics, the content and concepts have to be taught through these 6 global contexts, okay, identities and relationships, orientation in space and time, personal and cultural expression, scientific and technical innovation, globalization and sustainability, fairness and development. And the culminating event for the MYP is the personal project, which is a self-directed independent project, which grade 10 students do it. And they choose a topic of their personal interest and they show what all skills have they learned in the 5 years of the program and what learner profile have they developed. Okay, so this is about the MYP. So in the MYP, here is a scenario. Meet Mrs. Chen's year 4 MYP class in Singapore. They are studying the global context, globalization and sustainability. Their unit question is, who owns a river? The class is investigating the Mekong River, which flows through China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Okay, China has built 11 large dams upstream. Downstream communities depend on the river for food, water, and livelihoods. Fish populations have collapsed. Farmers face drought. Okay, now how the MYP brings this to life? So if we have to study this, you can teach it as an IDU, okay, interdisciplinary unit. And which all units can you combine together to study this particular unit? So in individuals and societies, the students can map the political and economic interests of each country, okay, because the river flows through so many countries. In sciences, what they can do is they can analyze water flow data and ecological impact reports, because it is a dam. Then what are the pros and cons of having a dam? Okay, they can study that, ecological impact. Language and literature, they can read a first-person accounts from affected fishing communities. And in design, they can prototype a shared river governance framework and present it as a policy brief. This they can also do it in INS. Instead of design, they can do it in INS. Now, your turn. Why I'm saying INS is whenever you are doing an IDU, it's a good idea to have maximum 3 subjects instead of having 4 or 5 subjects, because it is very difficult to then assess the parts, components of the IDU. Okay. In fact, I had this experience where we had 5 subjects combining to do a transdiscipline, and then this was with the earlier criteria where you had 4 criteria, and then there was a war between the subject teachers saying that, oh, I should give a 5 out of 8 or a 7 out of 8 for those 4 criteria. So yeah, so good idea to have maximum 3 subjects for an IDU. Okay. Now quick vote in the chat. Okay. Which country's perspective do you find most compelling and why? China is talking about development and energy needs. Cambodia and Vietnam talking about food security and livelihoods. And an international body, neutral governance. Okay. What IB learner profile attributes does this unit develop? Name at least 3 in the chat. You have to decide which country's perspective do you find most compelling. Just give on the chat A, B, C, whatever you feel. Okay. And also write what IB learner profile attributes does this unit develop. Okay. So Debjyoti says, option B. Vilma also says option B. Responsible, caring, balanced, option B. Everybody is saying option B. Okay. Debjyoti, the criteria, the learner profile, he's saying responsible is not a learner profile. Okay. Caring, balanced, okay. If they are going to do research, if they are going to critically think, responsible is not a learner profile. People, responsible is not a learner profile. Brick copter. Balanced. Okay. How balanced? Why balanced? Anybody would want to say why have you chosen B and why you're saying balanced or whatever?
Ma'am, so I have chosen option B because China being the global superpower, so they are trying to control the natural resource, right?
Okay.
But if you look at Vietnam, and these are all third world countries, right? And they have been under US rule and French rule, French colonization for a very long period of time, and they have come out of it, right? So what we are seeing right now is that they are controlling the major chunk of the water resource, and only the bare minimum part is coming to Vietnam and Cambodia, right? Because of that, the natural resource is not being shared in a way that it is also catering to the needs of the Vietnamese or the people of the Cambodia, right? So that's why the resources, just because you are a global superpower, which is happening, which is very sad to say the least, but that is what is happening, right? That because they are a superpower and they are flexing their muscles and controlling the natural resource, they're building dams, they're controlling the water, but what amount of water is coming to Vietnam for their population, right? So that's where the balance part is coming, and it obviously connects to being caring also. And that was my mistake that I've written. I think I should have written principle. I should have written the principle that okay, because principally, if you see, just because you are a superpower, you are controlling everything, you are building the dams over there, so the resources are all being controlled towards your
So
part of the
moral
country.
ethics.
Moral ethics, yes, yes,
Okay. Principle will include that also. Ethics.
yes.
All right. Anybody else wants to add? And also, I feel that the 3 main essentials of life are roti, kapda, और मकान. है ना? तुम्हारा रोटी नहीं रहेगा तो फिर कैसे जिएंगे? So they are just livelihood is only the food only is taken away, right? From the people. If you are not going to, and we know that from civilizations that civilization existed because of water bodies. है ना? Indus Valley civilization बोलो, है ना? So therefore, because food is the most important thing and it is an essential commodity, then maybe I would think I will look at B. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, people. Balmukund, you want to say something?
Yeah, so research, I think, is first thing which is required to find out whether what is a like who requires it the most. That's the first thing. What is the reason behind that? First thing is research, and then inquiring. That's the second thing. What is required? Third is knowledgeable. As you said that energy need comes second. First is the primary needs. That I want house to stay. I want food to eat. So that I want water to drink. So that's the first requirement. So first requirement should go there. Once that requirement is fulfilled, then we can go for the energy requirement need. So the main thing comes is research, whether who needs that, whether China, again, as we know that China is known for its expansion policy. So they say that everything is mine. So again, whether should they have the control on that? Should they own that? Or should the other countries have that? That's the first thing. So for that, we need to have a research, then inquire. We need to find out we
तो
need to
रिसर्च
inquire
बोला तो
about.
इंक्वायरी आएगा है ना
हाँ,
रिसर्च
yeah,
बोला तो
both
इंक्वायरी
together.
आएगा ओके
Yeah, and then
इंक्वायरर
knowledgeable is important.
हाँ इंक्वायरर knowledgeable principled is good I like
Yeah.
principled है ना because it talks about ethics also communicator people how are you going to communicate if you are going to write a policy or something then you need to know the methods of communication right
Yeah.
Whether you communicate through writing or speaking, communicator is important. So maybe because the languages are, if the languages are involved, then of course I will look at communicator also. Okay. So thank you for sharing your perspective regarding this case study. Okay. And this is an interesting topic to teach to our MYP learners. Then the diploma program. Who wants to say? Balmukund, you want to? No, Dipti and Balmukund, anybody, anyone? Dipti may want to talk about the 6 subject groups. Balmukund, you can also. Oh no, Balmukund, you do CP. Okay, Dipti. Dipti is here.
I'll speak for DP.
Okay, bolo.
So we have 6 subject groups in DP. The first one is studies in language and literature, language acquisition, individual and society, sciences, maths, and the arts.
Okay.
And then we have DP core, the 3 pillar of IBDP, theory of knowledge, that explore the nature of knowledge. How do we know what we know? The second is extended essay, it is research work mainly. And the third one is creativity, activity, and service, where students engage in real world project beyond the classroom. And it
Okay.
develops creativity in students.
Also, I would want to add in the diploma program that if a student does not want to study the arts, which is the 6th subject group, they can do 2 subjects in group 3, individuals and societies, or do 2 subjects in sciences. Okay, that they can do. There is a flexibility of doing those subjects. Okay, and every student, if they have to earn a diploma, they have to study 3 subjects at higher level and 3 subjects at standard level. Okay, this is
Also,
what I
they
would
can
like to
take
add.
4 in HL also. Am I right?
But that will be an irregular diploma then.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. And language acquisition we must take, right?
Yeah,
From
it is
language
compulsory. Yeah, it is compulsory that you study 1 language acquisition.
Okay.
Okay.
2 subjects from sciences and 3 from INS.
One subject from INS.
But you said if they don't want to choose from arts, they can choose from INS.
Either 2 subjects of INS
Yes.
or 2 subjects of sciences. So total 6 hoega, hai na?
Okay. Okay.
So, so if you look at a student who wants to do business, okay, so they'll do English, maybe Hindi, business management and economics in INS, maybe ESS in sciences, and math, and not to do arts. And if I want to do engineering, study engineering, then I'll have English, Hindi, ESS for individuals and societies, physics and chemistry in sciences, mathematics. Okay, so 6 subjects. I can do engineering. All right, and not do an art subject. Okay.
But ma'am, students who wants to do medical, they can choose, right? They will have to choose three sciences, right? Like physics, chemistry,
Yeah,
biology.
and see if they have to study in India. Okay, if they want
Yes,
to do
India.
abroad, then they can do only chemistry and biology also. That is fine.
Right, yeah, yeah. Right.
But then in India, I would suggest if they want to study medical in India, do CBSE. Don't do IB. है ना?
True,
हाँ, क्योंकि
true,
नीट करने का रहेगा. How will you prepare for the entrance exam? है ना?
true,
नीट
true.
एग्जाम
Agreed,
बहुत
yeah.
झंझट है ना? अगर तुमको इंडिया में ही पढ़ना है तो पापा CBSE करो. That would be my suggestion, my advice.
But
Makes
now
sense,
students,
makes
they don't
sense.
listen. They want to be in IB and they want to do NEET also.
Then you bear the consequence, no? Stress,
Yes, yes.
है ना?
Yes.
Fighting against time, not meeting deadlines, poor assignments. क्या फायदा?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And also, I think in that case, I think they are not eligible to give NEET because they have not done all three sciences in IB. No, because physics, chemistry, bio, all three sciences are not possible in IB. You can't do all three
No,
sciences.
you can do. That's an irregular diploma. You can
But then
do
I
it.
have not. But then it becomes more difficult, and I have seen students who do only bio and chemistry, and then they want to give NEET. So in that case, they have to do some additional exams also to cover up that. I think they go for
AP.
some NCRT or something. Then they go for that. So that's a problem. So for IB, it's not advisable if they want to do in India.
In fact, I had advised one of my students to go to do CBSE and not do DP if he wants to do medical.
More
And he
aligned with
had
me.
changed. Yeah, and he had changed after MYP. I have a student who has done that. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Ashika, just to add to IB, when we talk about theory of knowledge here, so for theory of knowledge, each subject need to incorporate some elements of theory of knowledge. They have a separate class, maybe 2 classes in a week or something for theory of knowledge, 2 or 3 classes. But it's again one of the important thing because it's not graded, but they have 2 types of assessments. What they have to do here, one is exhibition, which normally happens at the end of year 1, and the second thing is TOK essay. So again, it's very important to pass in that also, and they have those core matrix. They have the matrix which helps them to get those 3 additional points. So that's why those 2 assessments are required for theory of knowledge.
Okay.
So that's again very important. And all subject even if you're not a TOK teacher, as a IB teacher, as a IB subject teacher, you need to at some point, not in all unit, but you need to incorporate some elements of TOK in your the teaching and learning.
Acha. Okay. Thank you for this additional information, Balmukund. Okay, so let's go to IBCP. Okay, Balmukund, take over.
Yeah. Okay. So coming on to IBCP, the first I would like to talk about, there's a big debate which goes on whether IBCP is for weak students. IBCP is should not be done by all students. Now I will talk about my viewpoint. It may not be matching with everyone's viewpoint. So what I feel like is IBCP is a diluted version of IBDP. So it's not that difficult as IBDP, but again, it's not very easy also, but still easier than DP. So and again, second thing is it's not meant only for weak students. Weak students can survive more with IBCP as compared to IBDP, but even we need some good students because when we talk about IBCP, it's more of an inquiry based approach. It's not just teaching and learning. So first thing is as per the IB requirement, basically there are 3 components for IBCP. One is DP subjects. So as per the IB requirement, IBCP student is supposed to take 2 DP subjects. But in my school, in D.Y. Patil International School, we give them 3 subjects, out of which 1 subject is English, which we offer them at a SL level, and the other 2 subjects we try to provide them which matches with the CRS subject. So what is CRS? It's career related study. So as Ms. Ashika said in beginning also, that in our school we have we give them 3 types of CRS. One is business administration, we have providing artificial intelligence, and we are providing design. So what is this CRS subject? So any student who is sure that I want to take this career pathway, like for example, I want to go into business stream or I want to go into design stream. for them, they can go for IBCP program. So it is more career oriented. Instead of studying everything where I have to study one of the science also, I have to study maths also, but I want to go into art field, but I'm studying all subjects. Instead of that, a student who is already career oriented, who knows that I want to go in this stream, so they can just focus on that stream. So that is why that is a main purpose of IBCP. That's first thing. So how do we do this career related study? Who does that? So IB have no fixed syllabus for career related study, but what happens is IB have authorized some CRS providers, that is career related study providers. For example, in my school, we have WACP. And what I know is in India, I think when I know about the other schools who are doing CP, what I know is most of the like WACP is one of the largest CRS provider in India. So they have different types of courses available, out of which you can choose what is best suited for your school. And then they are the one who will train your teachers for how to teach that subject. They are the one who will make the syllabus. They are the one who will tell you what assessments to do. For example, as of now, the CRS assessment, what is happening from WACP is project based. So whatever you teach them, different components you teach them, our WACP will give you what formative and what summative assessments to do. And most of those assessments are in the form of projects. So that's how that becomes a little diluted version, because you don't have to write proper pen paper based study. So that is where students save some time, and the students who are not very good with studies can manage that easily. That is why I said it's a diluted version of this thing. But still they have to study 3 DP subjects. That's more important. Other than that, like DP have 3 core elements, IBCP have 4 core elements. One of them is PPS, personal and professional skills. Now we call PPS as core of all the cores for CP. So it is one of the strongest core, what we say, and it is something which connects all the other cores in IBCP and also the DP subjects and CRS subjects. That's why we call it as core of core. So now this PPS is something where students learn about 5 main skills, and those skills are transversal skills. That means you learn it in one subject, but you can apply it across all subjects or in your day-to-day life, personal life, professional life. So it's like that. Second thing is language and cultural studies, where we use language as a medium to connect with the culture also. Third thing is community engagement. Now you can consider community engagement as CAS, but it is not actually CAS. It is more aligned. It is equivalent to CAS, but the purpose is different here. Fourth thing is reflective project. Now, out of all the 4 cores, the only external assessment what happens is for RP, reflective project. So I compare RP with extended essay, because extended essay is something where you submit you make a 4,000 word ka essay and submit it to IB. Same is the case for reflective project. You have to make a 4,000 word ka essay, out of which 1,000 words is your reflection. So it includes 1,000 word as reflection. What we do in RP is it talks about ethical dilemma. So students have to select their research question which aligns more with ethical dilemma, something related to the CRS subjects. For example, a business student will talk about ethical dilemma in a particular business, and they have to write a 4,000 words essay and submit it to IB, which will be externally assessed. So this is how your entire IBCP program is planned.
Thank you. Any questions regarding IBCP, Debjyoti?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So thank you, Balmukund sir, for this. So
Yeah.
what I was trying to look at the CP program is because it's very difficult for means if we have some students who are not well tuned with certain academic part of the DP program, we try to push them for CP if the school has CP, right? But what the problem is that they talk about that whether it is accredited, means whether the university admissions will be a problem in India if they are going through the CP program. So how do you communicate this? Because it's quite different as compared to DP program, right? And then there are some students who might not be able to deal with the non-regular diploma also, right? So if the number of subjects are reduced to an extent, then also they may not be able to go through the core part of the DP, right? So how do you deal with this communication and convincing the parents?
See, I think what you are saying is the question which we face normally daily is the recognition, university acceptance.
Right.
So
Yeah.
CP, I think 2 to 3 years back, the university acceptance was not that good with CP, but I think recently the university acceptance have improved a lot. Not all universities accept, but quite a lot of universities are accepting IB-CP now. IB is working hard so that all universities start recognizing CP. So the acceptance have increased. In fact, in India also the acceptance have increased. As you said, not that much as in case of abroad. So the first thing what we ask our students is where do they want to apply? What is the university choices? And we look at whether that university is accepting IBCP as of now or not. So that is where your career counselor role comes into. Like, it's very very important, very useful, where they should know about the which CRS is accepted. Like, see, it's basically CRS. For example, if I'm taking business administration as a CRS, so I'm going to go into universities for business courses. So I need to have a list of foreign universities as well as Indian universities which are accepting those CRS subject, so that I can convince my parent that these are the options available. If you would like to go in any one of these options, then you can go for it. So that is what the main purpose is. That is how you can, I think, easily tackle CP. And as you said, for students who are not very good in academics, for them, I think CP is a very good option. Except for those one or two, those 3 DP subjects, CRS goes very easily. Even for core, only reflective project have an external assessment. Other 3 cores don't have an external assessment, but they have a portfolio, which as a school teacher, as a teacher, you help them build that portfolio and then reflect those journals. So that all things get easily handled. So I think for weak students, if they want to have a diploma, I think CP is a good option to get that diploma certificate and get admissions in the places where they want. I think that's a good option.
Okay. Thank you, Balmukund sir. I might reach out to you further for certain more queries or questions that I might have.
Okay.
You can get in touch to me. You can
Yeah,
contact me.
we are there in the same group, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what the IB produces is the whole person. Okay. Whenever I have admission interaction with parents also, I tell them about my experience as a parent. Okay. I can see that my son Norbu has become a better learner and a better person because he did the IB. Okay. Though he studied only IB for 3 years, MYP 5 and then DP 1 and DP 2. But I can see that it has improved his communication skills, collaboration skills. So whatever we are saying that, okay, IB helps develop the skills, I can see that in my son. So that's why it has produced the whole person. It is not only about academics. It is not only about, assessments, but it is a holistic thing where you are looking at the whole person. Okay, developing the whole person. So you do have academic excellence. You also give emotional intelligence through the CAS activities, through the events that the students do. Okay, and it talks about global citizenship because you're looking at different themes, international themes, and diverse perspectives in the different subjects that you're studying, right? So IB produces the whole person. Now, your IB moment, okay? We are just closing the session today. We have covered a lot of things. We spoke about the ATTs. We spoke about learner profile. We spoke about the programs, PYP, DP, MYP, CP. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay. You have to spot the learner profile. Read the student quote. I didn't know the answer, but I kept asking questions until I found a way to understand it. And then I taught it to my classmates. Okay. Which 3 learner profile attributes can you identify in this quote? Okay. I didn't know the answer, but I kept asking questions until I found a way to understand it. And then I taught it to my classmates. 3 learner profile. Okay. Linked to this.
Inquirer first.
Okay. Anybody else? 1 minute. Balmukund said inquirer.
Risk taker.
Uh,
Risk taker.
Okay, risk taker.
Inquirer, communicator, reflective.
Inquirer, communicative, reflective. Okay. Anybody else? बस यही तीन, दूसरा कुछ नहीं हो सकता है.
He becomes knowledgeable.
Okay, knowledgeable है, yeah.
Knowledgeable and thinker also.
Okay, thinker. Inquirer, yeah, because I'm asking questions. I
Risk
found a way. Okay, risk taker. Because I kept asking questions. Some
Yes.
people, you know, feel that, oh, if I ask question, then I look like a fool.
And
Yeah.
teaching to classmate,
Mm.
classmate is also risk taker. I'm taking a risk by teaching it to my classmate whether I'm right or wrong. If the person will make fun of me or not.
But I would also say caring. Okay, because I taught it to my classmates.
I was about to say
Yeah.
afterwards.
Caring.
I may not teach it, I may keep the information to myself. Why should I teach if I'm going to compete with my classmate? But I taught it to my classmates, so that's why I feel the person is caring. All right. Okay, thank you for telling me the 3 learner profile that is attached to this particular quote. Now, one commitment. Based on today's session, name one thing that you will do differently in your school or classroom next week to better reflect IB principles. What will you do next time? Not necessarily next week, because some are on holidays. Based on today's session, what will you do?
Making sure that our lesson plans integrate the learner profile
Okay.
and how we execute it in the class.
Okay.
That's it.
Those who are teaching in IB, तुम लोग कैसे use करोगे?
I think connecting it to ATTs, like trying to map all our lessons with ATTs, whether they address whether over a period of time, whether all the ATTs are addressed or not. Because
because
we focus more on ATLs, but I think as a teacher we miss out a part of ATT.
and also if you look at the program standards and practices, you have the approaches to assessment and approaches to teaching also.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you focus on that, then you can hit those points. You will have more evidences. What else? Now, there are people who have done the IB. Okay, there are people who are new to the IB. Today's session, what was the aha moment? Was there any aha moment कि नहीं है? मेरे को तो सब कुछ आता था. Anything that you
For me,
Devjyoti.
I think for me, the key takeaway or the aha moment will be where we worked in this group for the transdisciplinary progression, right? And how we connected or we tried to connect it to the CP also, right? I think as a evaluator, that's what you see, right? That how is the continuum developing in your school across PYP, MIP, DP, if these 3 curriculums there in the school itself, right? So I
Yeah.
think when we plan, I try to do that we plan in a way that PYP is knowing that what are the elements or what are the skills that a DP learner should have, because eventually the basics are starting from there, right? If like as you say that there will be a fight between PIP and MIP teachers, they have not taught anything and sent them to MIP 1, and the same we say about the MIP that they have not taught anything in MIP 4 and 5 and they have come to DP 1, right? So I think if we know what is happening across PIP, MIP and DP, we can hold them in a particular string, and I think in terms of authorization, in terms of evaluation also, final evaluation, that when we go for as a school, it's very important that we are able to showcase that yes, it's in a continuum, it's in a stream, those all the bits are tied in the same stream. So I
Yeah.
think that is very important, and once we do it, I think it becomes quite easier for us to understand what needs to be done at each stage of the learner's life. So yeah.
Also, I would want to suggest, usually when you have our department meetings, we do it only for secondary, right? We look at secondary 6 to 10 or 6 to 12. Okay, we will do department meeting and you have your discussion and all that. Why don't you have at least once a month, one meeting, or maybe twice a month, once in 2 months, a meeting with the whole school ka department. So all the teachers who teach science, so there would be some experts in the PYP. Otherwise, because what happens is in the PYP, all homeroom teachers teach science, right? But then there would be specific teachers whom the coordinators would have assigned for curriculum review. So if someone had to come for mathematics curriculum review from the PYP, Balmukund, you would know, right? 2 people from the PYP. Maybe
Yeah,
ask
for
them,
vertical
ki you
articulation
come.
PTD.
Ha. So you come a monthly meeting and then you say, okay, now what are we doing? How has how have you progressed in your delivering of the math curriculum in the PYP? So as an HOD, you're just not looking at only grade 6 to 12. You're also including the PYP with you. You know? So
Correct.
the transition is smooth. Okay. So aha moment, Amita, you have your hands raised.
Yes. So once you said your network is your net worth. So when I connected with you all today, I got a wonderful idea about this flowers thing at the temple, how the students used it and reused it, and they made incense sticks and the other things. So I think that was something new that I learned today, and that becomes the aha moment. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
And
Amita.
all thanks to you for connecting us together today.
Yeah, you all took the time to come now.
But you initiated. Come out of your Netflix and then come and sit with me.
Yeah. Because yesterday whole day I was dome scrolling either on YouTube or on my LinkedIn. So I thought I'll do something useful today.
Yeah, but that doom scrolling helps me a lot. I get so many ideas, so many things, articles, images that the AI is creating these days. People are using the AI to share their thoughts and ideas. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. Madhvi, any aha moment for you?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, first thing is I came to know about CP because that was the program I was curious to know about. So that has added into my knowledge now. And another thing is, the role of librarian when you said that research, how a librarian can help, in the system to, because research is something which is a very core element of IB. And many times children doesn't know, even as a facilitator, we also struggle to develop those research skills into children. So I think the two strategies which you mentioned, I would definitely love to explore those two strategies. And that was one more aha moment for me.
Okay. I always share that. I am a workshop facilitator for online category 3 ATL.
Oh, nice.
Workshop, na? Yeah. So I always share this either Big 6 or Super 3 with the PYP and
Very
MYPDP
good.
learners,
Nice.
teachers.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
for
they
me, I
can
have done
teach.
Cat 1. So I have been doing Cat 1. So I'm still at Cat 1.
Acha.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, ma'am, for giving us the platform to connect and share. Definitely, it was an impromptu thing, first time for me to, But
yeah,
a
you've
lot
been a
of
risk
learning.
taker.
Yeah,
You've been a
that's
risk
what.
taker.
And I myself is feeling comfortable now. Oh, okay, I can talk with, many educators here and can learn a lot from them. So thank you for providing this platform, definitely.
Thank you. Mommy, any aha moment for you? Have you disappeared? Or are you talking without unmuting yourself? Mommy, Shweta, any aha? Alfisha, any aha moment?
Ma'am, the 6 big that you have shared, that
six.
is one aha moment. Yeah.
Okay. Shweta?
The CP program, which was discussed in today's meeting, and even got to know that the leftover flower petals were used for making incense stick. That was really so loved to connect here with you, ma'am, especially learning so many attributes of education and how we can make children's lives better and better, and even being an educator we can implement in our lives too. So
yeah,
that was really good.
Ma'am, also I want to
Alfisha.
mention one thing, like how you give us tasks and divide us in group. We could do the same thing with our students also in our class to make it like more engaging and fun.
Yeah. Because I asked Gama to make a presentation. It made me presentation, but then I said that I want to make it interactive and collaborative. So please give me case studies or scenarios. So then it provided those, places where questions are asked and you could do the poll and the discussion, group discussion. Yeah, in breakout rooms. Balmukund, do you have an aha moment?
Yeah, I think one of the aha moments is your presentation, the one which you made. I think it covered up all the elements and it connected it well. That's one thing. Second thing, the learning which I had, I think, see, for DP, if it's DP and CP, I think most of the things I know. But I think for MYP and PYP, the transdisciplinary skills was a aha moment, and I think what I need to do is try to understand where does DP stands, or what is the connection of those transdisciplinary skills in DP, because that is something which we are not sure, and then I need to research more on and find out what connects well with DP for each of those transdisciplinary skills.
So then you
That
look
was
at all the different subjects, है ना? Maybe that
Yes.
could be one of your group meeting ka ye task, है ना?
Correct.
Where you say that we have PYP, we don't have MYP, but then with PYP and DP, then how do you link the transdisciplinary themes?
correct.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ashika.
Thank you so
for such a
much
wonderful
for
session.
coming, है ना? And before we exit, let me thank all the people who have come for this Zoom meeting, the people who are there on the global classroom, and who take their time and come whenever I ask for a meeting and stay at least for an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours here discussing about all things IB as well as international school pedagogy. And yeah, if you find this interesting, please share, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Techie Teacher Mentor. I'm doing this for promotion. Yes. And also, if anybody wants to join the Global Classroom group, then you may ask me to share the link. I can share that link with those people who are interested. Also, those who are watching my YouTube videos, if you want to join the Global Classroom WhatsApp group, please comment on my live video. I will share the link with you personally. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Let me switch off the